Are the recorders switched on? Yes? May I commence? Very well. We are convened in a forensic disciplinary tribunal of the Department of Experimental Oversight. My name is Dr. Iris Ash, and I am the independent prosecutor assigned to this process. In this process, the subject of disciplinary trial is entitled to explain their actions. The assembled tribunal board is entitled to ask through me whatever questions are required to assess the veracity of the subject's claims. For the record, please, your name, sir.
Dr. John Carnack.
Do you know why you're here today, Dr. Carnack?
I may have accidentally blown up a research station.
The Bellport Theatre on the Air presents The Department of Midnight, created and written by Warren Ellis. Episode 106, Judgement, starring James Callis and Carla Gugino.
Now, I have been briefed on your work experiences. I'd like to quickly review them.
You haven't talked to Human Resources, have you?
I have.
Yeah, don't trust Soil and Green.
This year alone, Dr. Carnack, you have, in what I consider a fairly high-handed fashion, flooded a very expensive lab facility with ferro-concrete. You burned down a private home, apparently unconcerned as to whether anyone was inside it at the time. You have also, and I'd like some clarity on your report here, you claim to have used a taser on a ghost.
No.
But it says here you tased a ghost. I presume this is a joke?
No, I tased the man the ghost was inside at the time.
I see.
You didn't take your briefing materials very seriously, did you?
I'm a physicist, Dr. Carnack. I work with the rational.
So do I.
I repeat, tased a ghost.
Is this farce intended to establish that I'm delusional?
Are you?
Well, I wouldn't know if I was, would I?
I see. That's going to be your attitude.
I don't have an attitude. I have questions.
Such as?
Well, we really fully briefed. Have you understood my job, role, and mandate in the department? Are you even cleared to read unredacted reports? Sorry, why are you walking up and down like you're auditioning for a gig on Law & Order?
I'm frustrated, Dr. Carnack. I've been briefed. I've read the reports. I understand your job, but you seem to think that you have carte blanche to do harm.
I prevent harm.
People died in that explosion at the Slade Research Station, Dr. Carnack. It's hard to put a witty spin on that, isn't it?
I regret those deaths.
So there is a human inside there after all. I thought I might be talking to something that was the ghost of a scientist.
Sorry, what's that supposed to mean?
Responsibility, Dr. Carnack. When you enter a research area, you have responsibility. It's what the privileges of experiment and oversight are built on. And that goes beyond your basic job description. It speaks to your character.
Wow. So we're going straight to, I'm a shitty person.
Let's stay professional.
As soon as you start being professional.
Excuse me?
No. If you read the report, you know the Slade Research Station was already a meltdown when I arrived. The situation was on the verge of spreading to surrounding towns. I'll allow that I had to take extraordinary steps, but there wasn't time to ask for second opinions, nor to wait for help.
The situation being, in your opinion?
It's technical.
I'm qualified.
It involves dark matter.
Of course it does.
And what's that supposed to mean?
The majority of the cases you investigate involve dark matter, don't they?
Well, those are the cases assigned to me by the department.
You don't sift through and select them?
I go where I'm sent.
You're saying you don't cherry-pick them?
I have particular fields of expertise. The department knows how to select my workload.
But you left the field of dark matter research.
I did.
You were one of the acknowledged world experts in the field.
I wouldn't go that far.
But you, in fact, did go pretty far as to write theses on the subject.
I did publish a little.
And you held back quite a lot. Nonetheless, the holdbacks have had a surprisingly wide circulation.
Not my doing.
Who is the author of the document collection generally known as the Warden Cliff papers, Dr. Carnack?
The names were redacted from the papers prior to their leakage.
Who's the author, Dr. Carnack?
Well, the papers seem to have had many contributors.
You wrote the Warden Cliff papers. Yes or no?
I'd like to take a break.
Hey, it's me. You were absolutely right. He is arrogant and nowhere near as smart as he thinks he is. No, the plan is still the same. If I push him, he will lose his shit. If he loses his shit in front of the tribunal, they'll stop protecting him, and we can get the lawyers in. I've got this. So, the Warden Cliff papers, you wrote them.
Largely.
And application of theories and processes found in the Warden Cliff papers have led to the majority of cases you've investigated in the past few years, yes?
I don't know about the majority, but some, certainly.
The majority, then. You released the papers, and now you clean up after the people who used them. Isn't that a little like setting fires in secret and then rushing in to put them out so you can be the hero?
Oh, I don't think that's fair.
Well, then perhaps you've dedicated your life to cleaning up the oil spill you released before it kills all the little birds. What happened at Warden Cliff, Dr. Carnack?
We're not here to talk about that.
Something happened at Slade Research Station to cause your actions. I was wondering if the situation at Slade reminded you of something.
No.
So what happened at your research unit at Warden Cliff? To set my mind at ease, tell me it was nothing like what you encountered
The
at
department
Slade.
has all my records. You can refer to them. I'm not here to talk about that.
Actually, yes, you are. We are here to determine today whether or not your actions are appropriate, whether or not you are mentally equipped for your role in the department. What happened at Warden Cliff?
Yeah, I don't have...
I think your methods are unsound. I think they tie back to the events at Warden Cliff 4 years ago. If you don't think I am fully briefed, brief me. On the record.
Well, that's absolutely not going to happen.
What happened at Warden Cliff?
You don't have the right...
What happened at Warden Cliff?
You can't just...
What happened at Warden Cliff?
I killed people. Okay?
What happened at Slade Research Station?
Well, they were going to do it again. It was going to be Warden Cliff all over again.
You killed people at Slade, too.
They killed themselves.
Did you or did you not lock the doors of Slade after making your escape?
My escape?
Did that not lead to the deaths of 13 people?
Oh, look, they were already dead.
13 people trapped inside a fire you started. Do you know their names? How many people died at Warden Cliff? Do you know their names?
All of them!
Really? I do wonder.
Why are you letting her talk to me like this? Please.
Don't address the board. Address only me.
Well, this is starting to feel like something other than the tribunal I agreed to. The members of the board...
Are here in an observational role only. I am here at the request of the Office of the Secretary of State.
I see. I think I'd like to take another short break. Hello, Soylent Green. Just listen. You do me a favor, and I'll make sure you never have to deal with me again. How does that sound?
Feeling better?
Yeah, small bladder.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Well, perhaps you'll run a 5K to raise awareness of the condition one day.
What was the nature of your work at Warden Cliff?
Here we go. I theorized that dark matter is in fact the fifth form of matter. I began testing dark matter attractors and realized that the iron pylon and dome that Nikola Tesla built in Warden Cliff in 1901 was a perfect shape. The university bought the land and we had the research station constructed there. It was at Warden Cliff that we detected and exposed the fabric of dark matter. And everything went wrong and people died. The end.
I think there was a little more than that before the end, and a little more after.
Oh?
The papers, Dr. Carnack. Who released them?
I don't know.
So it was an accident, another one? Or did you redact all the names and put them into
I
circulation?
told you it wasn't me.
Who was it? Who were the other primary authors?
Well, one is permanently hospitalized in a mental health facility. One went walkabout, and I've since heard that they live off the grid now. One vanished entirely. I'm pretty sure they're dead. And the last one died right in front of me at Warden Cliff. But since the scene was attended by all kinds of recovery services and investigators, frankly, anyone could have gotten hold of our documents. And that's the problem.
How so?
It's not a complete reporting of the theories or the findings. It's the very embodiment of a little knowledge being a dangerous thing. If you have the right background, you can elaborate and evolve the things we came up with, but the papers aren't a full accounting. You'll never know the real tripwires in the processes until it's too late.
So in a sense, you did set the fires that you've since been putting out.
I suppose that's true.
Dr. Carnack, what exactly did happen that day in Warden Cliff? For the record, so we all know what we're talking about.
Oh, all right, Dr. Ash, so we all know what we're talking about, because I don't intend to ever sit through another one of these comedies.
Watch your tone.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll allow it.
Sustained. I love law and order. So, what happened at Warden Cliff was an experiment in identifying, activating, and interacting with dark matter, making contact with the fifth form of matter and reading out the information encoded in it.
Very dramatic. The stuff of biographical movies starring Benedict Cumberbatch.
Well, at least he won't have to learn a new accent, will he? So, things went bad on the third night.
How bad?
All the dark matter in the area immediately surrounding the station went live. We were not prepared for that.
What does go live mean in this context?
Okay, you all remember the example for space-time? A stretchy rubber sheet. You put a heavy ball on it, sheet dense, and that illustrates how planets distort space-time, right? So imagine that sheet as, a pond liner.
Oh, wow. Stunning use of technical language.
Thank you. And dark matter is the layer of the silt that sticks to that liner. And it rubs and grinds over the years and degrades the liner. And then one day some idiot comes along, churns it all up, and it gets thinner and thinner. It becomes a thin place.
Mm-hmm. You've referred to thin places in your reports.
Yes, I believe they occur naturally, and the effects associated with them explain many of our myths and legends. Folklore, ghost stories. Look, eventually there's a tear, and it stops being waterproof. On our side, reality as we know it leaks out. And whatever's on the other side leaks in. We spent 3 days churning up the silt with everything we had. On the third night, all the silt lit up and burned through the liner.
And what does that mean?
It means that dark matter contains every ghost and every goblin we ever hid from, and what's under it is worse. I know that because I saw it at Warden Cliff that night. It came out.
This is meaningless.
All the dark matter in and around the Warden Cliff experimental station activated in an extremely energetic manner, and the immediate environment became deleterious to life. And that's how your sister died.
What?
Dr. Ash. Yes, I made a phone call. You seem just a little too enthusiastic about all this. Your sister was Dr. Sophia Bond. Ash is your married name. Sophia was one of the technicians at Warden Cliff. She died there. I'm sorry. I wonder, did the board here know about your personal connection to my previous experience?
Well, it's simply not relevant.
If you say so. Yeah, if you say so. Anyway, afterwards, I happened to see a lecture by a writer on folklore named Olivia Sigsand. She died recently, by the way. It led me to reframe the theories I was working on, and that led me to my work here.
How did your work at Warden Cliff relate to what happened at Slade?
What we did at Warden Cliff got out in the form of the papers, They seem to find their way to the wrong hands. A lot.
Oh, the wrong hands. Everyone is an evil science villain, and you are the wandering hero.
I got to Slade much too late. Their experiments have been running for several days. The research team were pretty much gone.
But they weren't gone. They were right there. They were alive when you arrived.
No, not really.
We recovered CCTV footage. A lot of it was marred by electromagnetic interference, but we can clearly see people moving around prior to your arrival.
Those people, they weren't really inside their bodies.
Oh, stop lying, for Christ's sake.
Could you see what they were doing?
Their jobs.
No. The effects that were manifesting inside Slade were being... how do I describe to you? Worshipped by the people trapped inside. There was exotic field activity that was puppeting their bodies around. Whatever came through the thin place, it was seeking to activate a wider region of dark matter, to create a much larger thin place. My only comfort about the situation at Slade is that the people who died there died before I did anything.
Really?
I'm afraid so.
All of them?
Yes.
Well, someone who was once very, very close to me worked at Slade as a chief scientist, and I saw him on that CCTV footage. He looked completely normal, but he was one of the people sealed inside Slade when the explosion you engineered detonated. And don't even think of telling me you're sorry. Instead, tell me this. Everyone at Warden Cliff died or went insane. Everyone at Slade just died. And yet here you are, continuing to be protected from any prosecution by the department, no matter how many people die and no matter how many crimes you commit. And that needs to stop. Today. And I think you know that, Dr. Carnack. Tell me you know that.
I regret every loss of life, but what I'm trying...
You are not trying. You are succeeding. You are succeeding in killing other people for your weird bullshit ideas and emerging unscathed.
Unscathed?
Here you are, not a scratch on you. The bodies of people beloved by their families, all arranged at your feet.
Unscathed?
Unscathed. And this department is just enabling you to keep killing people and to keep harming people like me. What do you say to that?
Unscathed?
What are you doing?
Showing you how fucking unscathed I am.
Please don't take off your shirt, Dr. Carnack.
Did they never do this on Law and Order?
Please just put your shirt back on. Oh. Jesus. What is that?
Well, you're a scientist. You seem to have all the answers here today. Why don't you tell me?
I don't know. It looks like you were attacked by I don't know, a wild animal. A bear.
No.
I don't understand. That looks very recent. What does this have to do with today's issues?
Because it happened at Warden Cliff.
Oh, that was years ago. That wound clearly hasn't healed.
No, it hasn't. It's never closed properly. It won't fully scar over. It leaks some kind of black fluid. Sometimes I have to wrap it up with several feet of bandage so it doesn't drench my shirt.
I don't understand.
Some things came out of the dark matter at Warden Cliff. One of them did this to me, just a sideswipe while I was trying to drag someone out of harm's way. When I hit the other side of the room, I saw that I'd been trying to drag away half a person. And Sophia Bond was missing from the abdomen down. She was already dead. It was very quick for her. For others, not so much. You see, I know I'm not a hero. Not even close. I've caused a lot of pain and a lot of loss of life. I'm a stupid, callous piece of shit most of the time, and on my good days, I'm just a piece of shit. My penance, the job I need to do, is to try and make sure what happened to her and your friend at Slade doesn't happen to anyone else.
You still need to be stopped. Wherever you show up, people die. It has to stop.
Yeah, go on then. Stop me. But this here, what happened to me, that is the absolute least you can expect to happen to other people if dark matter experiments continue to proceed unchecked. It's the absolute least you can expect to happen to you.
This has happened to me.
Then sure, stop me. Take this away from me. Let me crawl away and die with as much peace as I can muster. But don't ever tell me that I emerged unscathed.
The Department of Midnight is produced by Warren Ellis, Brian Gucciardo, Kevin and Diane Kolde, Fred Seibert. Main title and credit narration by Gildart Jackson. Casting and voice direction by Meredith Layne, CSA. Main title and score by Trey Toy. Dialogue editors Kevin and Diane Kolde. Recording coordinator Kathy Cavaiola. Dialogue recorded at Salami Studios. Lead dialogue mixer Mark Mercado. Assistant dialogue mixers Jonathan Bradley and Chris Story. Audio post-production provided by Salami Studios. Post-audio supervisor Peter DiRado. Sound design and editorial Paul Menichini, MPSE. Re-recording mixer Sean Jacobson. The Department of Midnight is a production of the Bellport Theatre on the Air. All rights reserved.